Thank you very much, and I'm really glad to be a part of this conference in the memory of my dear teacher, Alexander Dubyanskiy. And for now, I'm first time presenting in the Tamil section, actually, because the last years I was a part of linguistics section. And I always felt some kind of lack of empathy to my examples among linguists, because the profession of Davidologist who is a linguist is just a bit rare nowadays. And so I'm happy to be here and to hear your opinion of my examples. So my presentation is about is actually a small report about the verb kale, to hear in Tamil. When I started to study Tamil, I was a bit puzzled of the meanings of this word, because it can mean to hear and to ask at the same time. And that was the starting point of my presentation. So if we look at the perception semantic field, as linguists, we can see here several smaller semantic fields of sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. And the typological investigation of these semantic fields in different languages of the world, such as made by Wiberg, with citation here, revealed the general frames of these semantic fields. Usually in languages, they distinguish active, experience, and phenomenon-based perception. As an example here, John listened to the noise carefully. It's an active perception. When someone listens, actively listens to something. John heard the noise. It is experience when John is not involved very actively. He just experiences the sound or noise or something. And phenomenon-based verbs, when, for example, the noise sounded like distant echo or something is heard, that is a situation from the point of view of the noise or sound. So it sounded, it's the subject of the sentence, and usually some other verb can be used here. So a research question from which I start on is how this semantic field of hearing is organized in Tamil from the point of view of lexical and semantic typology. How did the meaning kale change through the time? And is this lexicalization of this field of perception in modern Tamil the same as in Old Tamil? To answer this question, I will try to do it in first to tell a bit about semantic shifts, then I'll look at the verb kale in dictionaries, in modern Tamil examples, and in Old Tamil. So I will tell briefly about the theory of semantic shifts, as actually it's my main field of study. The semantic shift is an explanation of the situation where a pair of meaning is connected by some relation, either synchronically or diachronically, within the word in general sense. It can be synchronous polysemy, or some other synchronous thing like morphological derivation, or it can be seen evolving through the time. It's a binary relation from meaning A source to meaning B target. Here is a project I work in. It's a catalog of semantic shifts in languages of the world. For now, we have around 9,000 of semantic shifts from more than 2,000 languages of the world, with some Dravidian data that I work with. You can find this resource on the address in the internet, that's some shift rule. And what is important is that this meaning extension can be seen in different facts of the language. So, for example, the first meaning started to evolve some additional meaning, and it gains more, I don't know, popularity, as you can say, and it goes through the stage of polysemy, and it's very important that polysemy tells us about semantic shifts. Then it can be seen in the diachronic semantic evolution in cognate languages, but it's important, and in synchrony in polysemy and morphological derivation, and also in borrowings. Semantic shifts can be universal and unique. For example, the shift from the meaning to hear, to listen, to obey is very widespread. For now, we have more than 200 realizations in our database in different languages of the world. But some semantic shifts are unique, as fire, sun, and fire, hell, expressed in polysemy of Tamil words. You can see them here. Or a name, grandson, that is in Tamil word Peyaran, a realization of this semantic shift. Some shifts are connected with some extra linguistic reality, but some are just rooted in the linguistic facts. The nature of this semantic change is discussed for many years in linguistics, and the very important source of semantic change is metaphorization. Of course, metonymization, generalization of the meaning, or specializations, and meaning can gain more broader sense, or just become more special. Coeponymous transfer and enantiosemy, or autonomous change. The types that I am interested in, besides of these types, includes change of frames and inferential mechanism. Change of frames, it's a change of point of view, as we can see for the word for the semantic field of hearing. It's a change from a field of active perception to experience, or to phenomenon-based, or vice versa. And inferential mechanism, it's a conventionalization of guided by consequent or accompanying activity. If we move to the verb cal in dictionaries, we find a very interesting bunch of different translations. For the first view, they can have they appear to have no general meaning between them. It is difficult to understand why they are gathered in one and the same dictionary article. These meanings are to hear, to listen, to ask, to obey, to learn, to be heard, to sound, to punish, to bear, to tolerate, to regard, to mind, to beg, to demand, and to investigate, and some others not listed here. I tried to make the graph of these meanings, and that also impress, but doesn't help a lot. For what I can say about semantic extensions and their cognitive mechanism, it is definitely a change of frames from hear to sound, to be heard, and inferential semantic mechanism. When we hear something and we use and we extend this meaning to the meaning of to learn, then the next step could be to investigate. From to hear, the next step to obey, that is very widespread in languages, and the next step is to bear, to tolerate. But in general, these ways of semantic extension need further investigation that I will not consider here. The meaning of kale in modern Tamil. The main meaning we can see in sentences like listen here is to hear, to listen, and to be heard. It is used in imperative mood, like keel, listen to me. That is an active listening. The boy is listening to the birds singing. Also with keel, what are the kind of speeches heard from a spoken Tamil? And birds can be heard in the morning in the villages. So these here we can see the meaning of active listening and of phenomenon-based listening, and the interpretation of sentence 2, the boy is listening to the birds, actually depends on the situation, and better would be to consider a native speaker about this sentence to clear it more. And the meaning to ask, to beg also is very widespread, like in the sentence 5, he asked the teacher if he could go out. So here is definitely the translation to ask. Then why are you asking me also to ask? In the he asked each of these questions. So here we have the meaning to ask and meaning to beg in the last sentence, manipukerka. Also the semantic extension of the meaning to ask. Actually, this same verb form, like this one, can express different meanings, both from the hearing perception domain and from and the meaning to ask, as in examples 9 and 10. Yes, you are hearing me right. And the second, you ask what has happened. So the same form can express two different meanings, but actually it depends on the context. So here we can see the word yenjo that tells us about the sentential accent and the dependent clause. And so it is the context that determines what meaning will be understood here. But so we can say that in general, if we discuss the frames of hearing in Tamil, we can say that all the meanings of experience, activity, and phenomenon-based can be expressed by the verb kale. And also the semantic extension to ask is expressed by this by this verb. But what is the situation with Old Tamil? I considered for the cases of Old Tamil, I considered the translation of Nachine by Eva Wilden with perfect commentaries and transliteration. And Nachine belongs to one of the oldest literary corpus of classical Tamil. Of course, everyone here knows about it. And dated to the first millennium AD. I will not tell you more about this because, of course, you know. I found among the cases of the verb kale, which is actually widespread in this text, I found, for example, these meanings of active listening, like here in the Nachine 136, Ketichin varitori it onjo. Listen, oh friend, this is one thing. So here we have imperative form which implies the active listening, and the translation is to listen. So it's exactly what we will expect here. Another example in Nachene 50, Ket por uler kol ille kol portiena. Are these those who there are those who listen, are there not? He said. So here the transliteration of kale in the text is given as here, but the translation is listen. And actually, yes, I think this is active listening, and we have this meaning here. But in the next example, Nachene 42, Mani ole kela val nudal adanal. She of bright forehead who could not hear the tongue bell. Here, it is not actually the active listening is preferred to translate. It is the experience meaning. She who could not hear. As in the next sentence, Nachene 43. Arrivo van den Jaal, ole del Kete. To her, having heard of her staying behind, is come as a ruin. So she haven't heard. So here it's also possibly experience meaning. In Nachene 129, pero nahi kelal tori kadalar, and it's a part of a verse. So here the great joke friend. Here the translation is given as here experience hearing meaning, but I think that it is maybe would be more preferable to give the translation listen, because it's actually active listening meaning. In the next example, it will be difficult to hear at all the clear bell. Possibly hearing, possibly listening. Some examples, mostly the cases in Nachene are of active listening, and some examples can be understood as phenomenon-based frame, as these one. As for listening to the request, we didn't. So listening to the request, or the request was heard. And Nachene 143, for the few days that I heard the unpleasant, pleasing talk, ureiketa. So the talk was heard. But what about the meaning to ask? We sorry, I didn't say about another word. And also for the meaning to listen in this text, I found another word, or to listen attentively. It was used in many examples of hearing semantic field, like in this one. The bees in groups with pleasant voices, as if one listened to the lute. Orta, yar, orta, listen to the lute. And Nachene 183, Innar alakum your orum. Your house has evenings of loudness too, to which one listens. So this word expresses also the meaning of the semantic field, to hear, to listen. Its meaning in the dictionary is to listen attentively. We can find it rarely in the text, but it is somehow distributed with the word kale. But what about the meaning to ask? Actually, I didn't find any examples of kale with the meaning to ask in Nachene. There is another verb, vinavu, like in Nachene 173, with the meaning, "Oh, you, the Lord of that mountain with bracelets, speak, I ask you." I'm asking you. So Vinaval yani. I am asking you. So, and similar example of Nachne 55, that is translated as mother said, but actually the more precise would be mother asked. Vina venal ya ye. So this is another verb that expresses the meaning to ask, and no examples of no cases of kale with the meaning to ask I found in the text of Nachne. So what we can say about frames? The situation in Old Tamil, at least in the text of Nachne, I hope to extend this work to other texts in Old Tamil, but at least in this text, we can't say that extended meaning to ask is expressed by kale, and its use is a bit more restricted than in modern Tamil, as far as I understand. So for the meaning to hear, we have another word, or for the meaning to ask, we have another word, venerable, and possibly the meaning of to ask was developed in Kale in later period. I hope that further investigation can tell us in which moment, in which text this meaning appears first. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Anna. I invite questions or comments. I didn't quite get, if I may ask, the source of the examples you were giving. Are they taken from some literature or generated by linguists?
You mean by modern Tamil examples?
Yeah, modern Tamil, of course. Because
modern Tamil, yes, they are from corpus, but I didn't work with native speakers, unfortunately, but I hope to make it in the future.
Okay, but what do you mean by corpus? Because I'm not a linguist, that's why I'm asking probably very unprofessional questions.
No, actually, now from internet, yes, from internet.
Okay. Thank you.
May I ask one more question? It's a very small question. You quoted a theoretical work on the development of semantic shifts. Oh, can you please repeat which one was it? Someone Koch? By someone
Peter Koch, yes.
Peter
I can
Koch.
send you
Can you send it to me, please? Yes.
Sure.
I'm quite interested in the theory behind it. Thank you.
Oh, maybe then I have another question. There was this with the semantic shift, you were mentioning the situation, this shift from fire to hell, saying that it is very typical for Tamil, but it doesn't appear in any other languages. Did I understand this example correctly?
It is not actually typical. It is what we find in Tamil. Sorry, I closed the presentation.
Hell, you mean something like Naraka?
No, maybe I can just open it again. Sorry. No, I meant the polysemy of the word. Just a second. I meant the polysemy of the words like ham, rl, yeri have different meanings, and in between them fire and hell.